WildTalkRadio.com.
Theme song!
This is the Firefly Funhouse, and I want to introduce you to some very special friends that I met along the way.
Hey, this is Adam Copeland, a.k.a. the Rated R Superstar.
Hey guys, this is Renee Paquette.
This is Kane from WWE.
This is WWE Superstar Drew McIntyre.
Hello, this is WWE Hall of Famer, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Hi, this is Bree, and this is Nikki, and we're the Battle Twins.
This is Christopher Daniels, and what I like to do on my off days is listen to the rap, and now you are too.
And it is awesome.
Satisfaction is guaranteed.
It's time to experience the award-winning The Rack.
Goodness gracious, great balls of fire!
I love kickball.
I'm back, taking souls and digging holes.
I'm gonna break you, bitch, you hear me?
You can look, but you can't touch.
Ruthless aggression.
With your host,
they've been lying to you. Heroes don't exist. Y'all become addicted to the illusion of what a hero does for you. Have I mentioned that I was once addicted to eating sponges?
Lindsey Ward.
Look at me, woman. And you can just call me Taker.
Oh my God, it's Taker. Does Taker hate me? Oh my God, it's Taker.
And she was a wicked, wicked child who spat and swore and chewed tobacco.
I like puppets.
Stickers!
And her producer, Sir Rockin.
My little creatures of the night will now experience the magical art of puppetry. If you smell... what the game is playing.
Live on the Wild Talk Radio Network.
We're here.
Yowie wowie!
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to The Rack right here on WildTalkRadio.com, brought to you by our friends over at MBG Films. Check them out, youtube.com/MBG1211. And if you're listening to us over on RackRadioshow.com, WildTalkRadio.com, or directly on Twitch, thank you so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. If you're on Twitch and you happen to have a Prime Gaming sub available, you can use it here for free for 30 days. All you have to do is hit the little purple button down the bottom of the screen, and you can subscribe for free. It is that simple. You can also subscribe the regular way, follow the channel, hang out and chat, or listen to the archive. We are happy to have you any way we can get you. And tonight is a special night, guys. It is the 12-year anniversary of this show. And to help me celebrate it is the ever faithful, ever amazing, ever awesome producer, Sir Rockin.
A lot of compliments.
We can't do this without you. I hope you realize that. Like, nobody on this network can do what we do without you.
It's a lot of compliments that they're not deserved. Anyway, tweet us at Wild Talk
Radio.
They are. At Rack Radio Show. Ellen's work on the WildTalkRadio.com, twitch.tv/WTR to interact with us live and talk things, places, and stuffs, because we got professional wrestling, sports, entertainment to yap about.
We do. So we have a tier list for you tonight. We're going to be talking about the top moments from wrestling in the past 12 years, but we'll get to that a little bit later in the show because we have to jump into the news and the notes and discuss all the things that have happened in the last 2 weeks of professional wrestling because we had to take last week off.
Yeah. So a lot of moments are just things we thought of. There's not like anything like specific, just things we thought of.
It's a list.
It's a list. It's not like a, hey, here's this exact time period of stuff. It's stuff we could remember.
It's the stuff we could come up with.
That's the stuff I could come up with and then pieced it together as we went. So, well, good you found the party hat. I think we have fireworks still enabled. I don't know. Anyway, let's get into news presented as always by MBG Films, youtube.com/MBG1211.
Alrighty, so let's talk about it. So starting with WWE, despite being almost murdered By the way, at 6, Chad Gable has officially re-signed with WWE officially.
Yes, there was some doubt, but he is officially re-signed as of Clash at the Castle weekend. So here we are. Congrats. He's back where he belongs, or staying where he belongs, in the WWE.
Woot woot, let's go.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where he goes and what he gets up to.
Indeed.
So AJ Styles is going to be walking through that forbidden door. He's scheduled to wrestle at Pro Wrestling Noah's Destination 2024 show. It will be in the hallowed halls of Nippon Budokan. Styles will face off against Naomichi Marufuji on July 13th. Hopefully I said that right. I'm sorry if I didn't.
Close enough, I think. I don't know. Marufuji is how I know the name. So yeah, that's cool. He gets to wrestle Japan, first time in a long time, in another promotion. That forbidden door kind of opens and closes when it wants right now with WWE, and it's kind of open. Because as we have here, Shayna Baszler's going back to Bloodsport on July 27th.
She is.
So she's excited about that. So
I think if it's something that it's like it makes sense for what they have going on at the time, why not do it? Why not let them do it?
Yeah, they're building they're just building relationships. They're doing stuff with TNA, they're doing stuff with Pro Wrestling Now about getting people out there. Yeah, it's not like they're overloading and doing it every month, every 2 weeks, every week. It's, hey, AJ's going to Japan, Io's going to Japan, Shayna's going to Bloodsport. Just little things. You open up relationships going, hey, let's see what we can do. Can we work together? Maybe? Sure. So here we are.
Let's be friends.
And they're not leaning into it and turning a whole pay-per-view about it and turning your TV show all about it. It's not affecting their television, all these things. TNA a little bit, but TNA added to it. It was one match. And then one battle royal. That's about it. It's not overloading television like other.
No,
companies.
they're mixing people in where they can, and that's what's important. Is that they're being very thoughtful and very careful about how they do this. So that way, it's like you're not invading TNA and taking over TNA, but you're not having TNA come in and take over WWE either. They're being very careful.
Yeah, exactly.
So moving on from there, Drew McIntyre was inducted into the Scottish Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Yeah, back at Clash of the Castle weekend, he got to do that. That's cool for him.
That's very cool for him. It's exciting for him. So congratulations to Drew. He's just adding accolades left and right. And we have a little bit of a sad news in the fact that Kayla Braxton has wrapped up her time with WWE. She is leaving.
It came out that she wants to, her contract is up and she wants to leave. She's been working without a contract, I think, for a couple of weeks. And her final date is tomorrow at MSG on SmackDown. She's done a lot and she's moved to LA to do other projects. And that's kind of been the thing. I think people have been kind of aware of it, that she's been trying to probably do other things outside of the WWE bubble, which is fine. And everyone's like, oh, then she's going to AEW. AEW doesn't need Kayla Braxton. And she made a comment, if I wanted to do something in wrestling, I would stay with the WWE.
My whole thing with this is every time somebody leaves WWE, right, it's, oh my God, are they going to go to AEW? Like before, Dijak isn't even gone. We might as well say that Dijak is leaving as well. But it's like, there's a graphic out on Twitter that he hasn't even left yet, and it's, should he go to AEW? And it's like, can we stop? Can we
they
asked stop?
They asked Tony 2 hours after it came out.
It's like he can't even do everything with the talent he has.
Yeah, a lot of his talent are not even booked for shows. So and he's going to be high and big in free agency, he says. He's going to continue doing it. It was great. Hire more people that you need to get on your television show.
Yeah.
But okay, so on the Dijak thing, people are like, oh, WWE dropped the ball. He's good. But if they were going to do something with him, they would have done it by now. And it's he's a good look. But if they're going to do something, they would have done it. Was he shining in NXT on the second run? Yes. But they look at him and go, and they're like, oh, they told him at the 11th hour that they weren't resigning. It's like, because they were probably trying to see if it's worth it. And to them, it probably wasn't worth the investment. You go, okay, he's 37 years old. So it's like, what are we going to be paying him for the next 5 years? And what is this position going to be? Well, maybe is it to pay him to sit at home? Probably not, because I don't think he would have gotten the run that he would want, and I don't think they're willing to pay people just to pay people right now. Especially with all these contracts that have been coming up, it's like you gotta go, well, what's the long-term future? And if you don't have a long-term plan for somebody, maybe you're not going to re-sign them, and maybe it'll come down to the last minute because they drafted him 6 weeks ago and haven't done anything. So you kind of probably saw the writing on the wall. But I wish him luck elsewhere because he'll probably do well, whatever that means.
The strategy, I feel like, for a lot of the NXT talent is you get the ball rolling with NXT, you build momentum in NXT, and then they bring you up to the main roster and you continue to build on that momentum and you continue to grow and you can continue to prove. Dijak had a great look. He had a good character. I think the problem is that they were never able to develop or grow the character beyond what he was doing. It was somewhat one-dimensional in that regard. Like in terms of rebounding from T-Bar. He was T-Bar, right?
Yes.
Whatever he was in Retribution, he did a good job rebounding that, but it was just something that I felt like they could just never get the ball rolling with him, and I feel like he was kind of one of those that, again, he sort of got stuck in the NXT rebrand, and it was trying to fit him into the NXT rebrand because he was doing a more darker, grittier character that didn't necessarily fit with what they were going for. And so I think creatively they just didn't really know what to do with him. And so I think once they finally figured him out, it's like, yeah, he was doing really well, but I don't think they could ever really get that momentum for him. It's like Zion Quinn was another one that he was a really good talent. They just couldn't get a ball rolling for him. And so it's like, let him go out into the wild and see what happens and see if he goes on the indies and he can build that momentum and he can build a character and he can build something that maybe he can come back and use, or he can go elsewhere and use. Or maybe he decides to go do something else. It's hard to say. Like, it sucks and you hate it for him. But at this point, it is what it is.
Yeah, but he'll bounce back. He'll go to AEW. He'll go to TNA. He'll go somewhere, do very well. And that'll be it.
That'll be it. So best of luck to Dijak as he moves forward. And also Zion Quinn. Let's see. WWE made a huge announcement this past week in regards to WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and the Royal Rumble. They are all going to Indianapolis. Lucas Oil Stadium will host a future 2-night SummerSlam. So SummerSlam is now officially 2 nights. It's going to be a thing. They're also getting a 2-night WrestleMania at some point. And then they're also going to get Raw, SmackDown, NXT, WWE live events that are going to come from across Indiana, including Indianapolis. And the Royal Rumble will be taking place on February 1st from Indianapolis. So that's huge and that's exciting.
So yeah, this is a big to do. So Indiana's going to get all their normal events, NXT, SmackDowns, and whatever, the PLEs and not PLEs, but Raw, SmackDown, NXT, whatever. Royal Rumble is on February. Everyone go! Oh my God, it's not in January. Oh my God, let's freak out! It's in February. Oh my God, because that was Twitter when it was announced. It's like, oh my God, freak out. It's on February 1st, not January 29th. It's not a big deal. If it was in the middle of February, then you go, oh, they really changed something. Football extended its playoffs, so there's an additional week. So the championship games are, at different points. This is the break between the Super Bowl or a championship game, where it'll be this on championship weekend the day before. It's because it's going to be on a Saturday, which is what they've always done. But NFL moved a week later with an additional week, so WWE adjusted, and they're now a week later from where they would be. Instead of the final Saturday in January, it's the first Saturday in February. It's all the same dynamics. So WrestleMania is 2 weeks later, so it's everything. Yeah. Anyway, I expect SummerSlam, when they get it, to be 2029, and Mania to be 27. So it's every other year they get the big stadium show, because doing 3 stadium shows back to back to back in 3 different years would be weird.
That's a lot.
That's a lot, and you're asking a lot of people to spend a lot of money. But if you spread them out every other year, I think that's how it plays out. SummerSlam I think goes WrestleMania, and then you capitalize with SummerSlam, where you do SummerSlam and then WrestleMania in 29, something like that. But it'd be 27 and 29, at least in my thinking. Because that's the way it logically works. It should work out. Because that's a lot to offer. And it could even go longer than that, but I think them announcing it like this, it'll have to be within like a 5-year window. Because that's the kind of where it makes sense. Yeah, being indoors helps. Yeah, it does. Especially for WrestleMania, because apparently they hated the cold here in Philadelphia, which they should have known it was going to be cold.
Philadelphia should know that it's gonna, be cold, so they should have like stadium shows. They should have like, a dome.
No, well, they don't. It's fine. You play in the elements. It's fine. Football.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. I mean, Philly should be a SummerSlam. Could have been a SummerSlam, but they paid for a WrestleMania and got a WrestleMania. So there you go. What else we got?
We've got Manchester. Well, before I go there, Rhea and Buddy officially have gotten married. Some of their wedding pictures have leaked online. They both look fabulous and adorable and just amazing. But yes, congratulations to the happy couple as they take their next step in life together.
Yes.
So go them.
Go them.
And then Manchester and WWE have announced an exclusive merchandise collaboration. It will include 6 t-shirts featuring the Manchester City and WWE detailing, such as a CM Punk Best Team in the Land and All the World t-shirt, and other t-shirts featuring Becky Lynch, Roman Reigns, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. As part of the collaboration, Manchester City and WWE have jointly designed a new name and a number style that players will wear in all of their games played during their preseason tour of America this summer. The design features the WWE logo within the number and a red outline. The t-shirts will be available on shopmancity.com and www.shop.com as well as fanatics.com. So that's freaking exciting.
What was the name you said?
Shop.mancity.com.
No, of the talent. What was
Becky
the name?
Lynch.
Becky Lynch. Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? It's like the man isn't gone.
But she's going to AEW, so, it's fine. That's Rebecca Quinn, is in AEW. The WWE still has Becky Lynch.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they still have Stone Cold, and he hasn't.
But he has a merchandise deal and whatever with them, so. Anyway, it was just
I would strongly bet that Bex, if she has a deal with them, probably has the merchandise deal.
Yeah, everything.
She's
on.
Smart.
She's on a hiatus deal right now. Yeah.
Yeah, she's taking an extended break and then she'll come back if she wants to come back. But I'm sure they're keeping things very friendly between themselves right now. But she wants to make that money, and yes. I don't blame her. Get that bag, girl. Moving on to the A of the E of the W's, AEW star Konsuke Takeshita will be participating in the 2024 G1 Climax Tournament. Takeshita, thank you. I'm sorry. I apologize.
He'll be in the G1, so he'll go wrestle in Japan. So there you go. What's next?
The AEW pay-per-view archive on Triller TV is going live.
So this is a money grab. No. Okay, so I'm going to read how it's broken down. The All-In 2018 and AEW pay-per-view pack will be for $34.99. So that's 6 pay-per-views. You get All-In and all the first 5 AEW pay-per-views for $35.
For $34. Okay. How many times do you get to watch them?
As much as you want. You own the pack of the pay-per-views.
Okay.
So that's $35 for 6. Then for 2020, you get a 4-pack for $30. For $30 more, you get the 2021 pack of pay-per-views. That's 4 of them. For the AEW 2022 pack, it's $35. You get 5 pay-per-views. And for the 2023 pack, for 8 of them, you get $60. Or you go buy Peacock for $10 or $8 to get the entire collection of WWE. So it's 6. They want 60, 35. So that's 95, 120, 150. $185 for old pay-per-views that you could probably find on the interwebs, or a streaming service deal coming soon for AEW. Oh, that's just okay. If you're a fan who wants to pay all that money, congrats. But yep. Anyway, moving on.
If you'd like to purchase said deals, go to thrillertv.com/p/AEW pay-per-view event.
Yes.
Okay.
That was the same thing twice.
Oh, that was the same as above?
Yeah.
What I'm getting ready to talk about?
Yep.
Okay. AEW announced that AEW Dynamite and Collision will make their long-awaited debuts in Wales at the Arena in Cardiff on Wednesday, August 21st, as part of the All-In London Week. This marks the first time that AEW Dynamite and Collision have ever been held in the United Kingdom. Tickets for the double taping will go on sale Friday, June 28th at 10 a.m. British Standard Time via livenation.co.uk Ticketmaster.co.uk, and AEWTix.com. Fans interested in the exclusive pre-sale opportunities can register to become an AEW insider by visiting allelitewrestling.com/AEW. I'm going to guess that's an _ insider.
Sure, it probably one. Yeah, I would go AEW _ insider. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, there's a space.
There's a space because that's how it was written in their press release. So there you go. Just go allelitewrestling.com and you'll find the information.
Wait. We can figure it out. We can totally figure it out.
She's copying and pasting the link into a.
It's dash. It's a dash.
Oh,
it's not an underscore. It's a dash.
It's a okay.
There's supposed to be a dash there that's not there.
Good press releases. Good press releases.
Okay, AEW and Reeboks have announced a collab, and this is actually pretty cool. For Brody Lee, the shoe is going to be debuting on July 1st, so on Monday, and you can get it through Champs Online and in-store, and it's coming in men's sizing, and the retail price is set at $90. So this is pretty cool and very exciting.
So that's a cool looking shoe. It's black and purple. Has his face on it. Dark Order inspired. I mean, pretty cool.
Yeah. So go, and I'm not sure if the proceeds are going to his family or not.
It's going to a charity, I believe.
Because I know his wife was discussing it.
Yeah, it's going to a charity.
Okay.
I forget the name of the charity off the top of my head. But yeah, all the proceeds are going to a charity, which is what you want. This is where I'm trying to look it up. But I can't seem to find. Wait, maybe. It's Heels. It's meet and greet. It's meet and greet about it. Go meet a Dark Order and friends for the shoes. 100%. The Huber family will donate 100% of royalties to the Highmark Caring. To Highmark Caring, the charity. Highmark Caring Place. It raises awareness, providing programs equipping the community to support children and families who have experienced the death of a loved one. So there you go.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So there you go. Congrats. Want to go break?
Let's go to break. So when we come back, we're going to be doing our 12-year anniversary special tier list. You don't want to miss it. So you're listening to The Rack right here on wildtalkradio.com, and we'll be right back.
Sick of my wife, sick of my future, and sick of my life. Packed up my car and I got some gas. Told everybody they could kiss my ass. I'm going to party town. Yeah. I want to party down. Yeah. I want to have some fun. I want food.
Are you following us on twitch.tv/WTR live? Do you have Amazon Prime? If so, you can link it to your Twitch account and subscribe to our Twitch channel for free with Twitch Prime. It's the easiest way to help support us for free. Every Monday night, once Monday Night Raw ends, the Raw post show goes live.
You want to hear a story? Get the hell yeah!
Join Lindsey and Sir Rockin as they give their opinions on what they liked, what they didn't like, and what left them completely confused. It's the Raw Post Show. Monday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern. Live on the Wild Talk Radio Network.
And that's the bottom line. Go Stone Cold Simpson.
Like what you hear? Subscribe to The Rack on Apple Podcasts. Just search for The Rack Radio Show. And while you're there, leave us a review and tell us your thoughts on your favorite show on a Thursday night.
Every Sunday night, the evolution continues with Wrestle Talk Radio, giving you all the latest happenings in sports entertainment. With the intern, the producer, the original Tim Stein, and sometimes, a K-Sheep. It's WTR Sunday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Mountain, only on the Wild Talk Radio Network.
This just into the CB Radio News Desk.
Sources have confirmed that CB Radio will be live Saturday nights at 11:30 p.m. Eastern.
Wasn't this confirmed last year?
Yes.
Then how is this breaking news?
No one said it was breaking news. We here at the CB Radio News Desk are just confirming what has already been confirmed.
To confirm, you are just confirming that CB Radio is live Saturday nights at 11:30 p.m. Eastern.
Confirmed. We would like to remind you. Always trust the source that confirms that CB Radio is live Saturday nights at 11:30 p.m. Eastern.
Confirmed.
Confirmed.
Did you know that you can use support a creator code ROCKSOCK in the Fortnite item shop? That's our OCKNSOCK in the Fortnite item shop. Hashtag ad because we are a hashtag epic partner.
This is Kane from WWE, and you're listening to The Rack on Wild Talk Radio.
I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into the bridge. I watched, I let it burn. I threw your shit into a bag and pushed it down the stairs. I crashed my car into the bridge. I don't care. I love it. I don't care. I got this feeling on the summer day when you were gone. I crashed my car into
And welcome back to the Rack right here on wildtalkradio.com, brought to you by our friends over at MBG Films. Check them out at youtube.com/MBG1211. And if you're listening to us over on rackradioshow.com, wildtalkradio.com, or directly on Twitch, thank you so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. If you're on Twitch and you happen to have a Prime Gaming sub available, well, you can use it here for free for 30 days. All you have to do is hit the little purple button down the bottom of the screen and you can subscribe for free. It is that simple. You can also subscribe the regular way, follow the channel, hang out and chat, or listen to the archive. We are happy to have you any way we can get you. And apparently we missed an injury. Apparently the intern is reporting an injury.
Apparently he's reporting an injury. Well, guess what? We'll cover it next week on this show. How about that?
You must get the injury in before the news segment, or else it goes on the next week's format.
It's on the next. We'll put it on the next week's show format. You've already missed the deadline.
I know you want to be a part of the 12-year show, but
does he want to be a part of the 12-year show? Does he want to come hang out with us for this part, or is he at work still?
Are you at work, or can you come on? Do you want to come hang out?
Do you want to come hang out? Do you want to come hang out?
Come on, boy. Come on. You want to come hang out?
Hashtag disappointed. Hashtag only the intern. Do you want to come hang out? You want to talk? It's up to you.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
Do I have that sound there anywhere? I don't think I have that sound there anywhere. He's still.
Oh, he's working. You're still working, dude?
Oy vey.
Anyway.
Nate, go home. Anyway, so we has a tier list for y'all. Because it is the 12-year anniversary of this show, we are doing the biggest storyline moments for the last 12 years-ish. There are some variation there. There's some things that made it in there that,
things we liked.
It is what it is.
Things we liked in the last 12 years.
So we will be, there are
49 of them.
49 of them, and we are rating as follows: unforgettable, memorable, significant, notable.
Yes.
Chat does get to argue this, kind of.
Well, yeah,
they can be
they could, if they agree, then that's great. If they don't, well, then that's too bad. Anyway,
they get to decide the tiebreaker if there's a tie, which there may be.
There may be. We'll see. All right, let's get started. Let's get started.
All right, let's talk about it. Daniel Bryan unretired from retirement, medical retirement. It came back 2018 at this point to have a final run with WWE. To me, as we do things, I call that significant. I can give you significant.
I don't think it's unforgettable. It's close to memorable, like, so that would be an A. So significant's a B. I would say it's significant because
I think in comparison. Sorry, go ahead.
I think it's significant because there's a lot of things, other things are gonna be stronger along the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So we're gonna do Daniel Bryan is significant. There we go. Had to find it. There you go. Significant.
He had to dig it out.
Yes.
So this is the entire storyline, the entire thing, the bloodline. I think in terms of everything on this list, this is either unforgettable or memorable. Just the entire run of the group.
Oh, it's gonna be unforgettable. By the end, it'll probably be at the low end of the unforgettable section. But it's had a major impact on WWE wrestling in general. It's because it's returned WWE to a hot product. It garnered fan interest. It went from a down period coming out of COVID to a really, really rise in hot pay-per-views and premium live events, big angles, big moments. It's an unforgettable section of the list.
It is career defining for a lot of people.
Yes.
So there is that to keep in mind. Randy Orton burns the Fiend.
Go ahead.
I'm going to say this is notable.
Yes, I would agree. This would be on the notable side of things. It's him joining the family, which we'll get into later on. But
He lied.
He was a part of the family.
He's a hoe.
But no, this was the beginning of the end for the Fiend character. It was a big moment. It was like one of the cooler moments from that era, which we'll talk about, the Thunderdome COVID era here in a bit. But yeah, it was a cool moment, but it's not a significant moment. It was just a notable one among the things we're going to talk about a certain group and individuals.
Yes, there's a lot of boo-boo on this. I'm sure nobody is surprised. Because it's us. So up next we have Kevin Owens debuting in NXT, and he lays out Sami Zayn, which begins the saga of Kevin and Sami in WWE. I'm gonna say this is a notable moment. I don't think it quite hits significant for me.
I think it's low significant.
Okay, I can give you that
because it started the arc,
mm-hmm.
and it was because Kevin had I believe Kevin had a match. He won his match over Sami Callihan, whatever, I forget whatever his character was in NXT at that point. Sami had just defended the title and then was attacked by his best friend Kevin Owens. I'm going to put it at the low end. It'll be like the last thing on significant probably by the time we're done. But I think it's a little bit higher than a notable point in history.
Okay, that's fair. I can give you that.
Yeah. All right, what's next?
Up next, we have Dolph Ziggler cashes in Money in the Bank on Raw after Mania, achieving his first win for the title.
When it happened, it was an unforgettable moment in history. I think it ends up notable.
I can give you notable. I think it was, for the time, it was a huge moment because it was like, this is him taking off. This is him taking that first step. And unfortunately, he just, due to injuries and a few other things, he just kind of fizzled a little bit. So it just didn't kind of work out. But I think for the time, for the period, for the moment, it is notable.
Yeah, as I'm sitting here trying to see if I can find the picture, because I know it's in here.
It's in here somewhere.
It's in here somewhere. There's so many pictures. There it is. So we're going notable.
I was gonna say, yeah. I see Randy because he's doing the pose.
Yeah, I found it. Okay. Next,
the COVID era. So this is the full from WrestleMania to SummerSlam. Is that when they got out of there?
Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, and SummerSlam. I think was the big. We'll go with the SummerSlam. Because they had one thing and then they went back. Yeah, we'll go to that SummerSlam era.
So that was about a year
and a half.
Somewhere in there. Where they were at the PC, they had the screens up, there were no audiences, there was no nothing. And this isn't just WWE, this is going to encompass AEW as well, and what AEW ended up having to do to really, for both companies, to keep the product going during what was a notable period in all of our lives. And honestly, I'm I'm going to say that this is, at least for our generation. Oh, they were at Tropicana Field, not well, they started at the PC and then they moved to Tropicana, right?
Yeah, they did a couple different spots.
But I mean, for this era, for our generation and generations that are coming behind us that remember it, I'm going to say this is pretty unforgettable, because this was the heyday of the cinematic matches, where they could get away with doing stuff like, you know, the Firefly Funhouse match, the Boneyard match for WWE, the Broken Universe in AEW and TNA. Like, they could just do all of that in this time and get away with it because there was no crowd. So you could like just do whatever you want, right? And get away with it because you could do all the TV magics. So this is a very unforgettable time in wrestling. I think as time moves on, it'll move down the list, obviously, because, you know, people, it's one of those you had to be there kind of things.
Right. People didn't like it, but there was a lot of good that came out of it. It gave us the new character for Roman Reigns. It gave Bayley and Sasha a huge run. It opened up a lot of avenues for acting and creating things that we probably would have never seen.
Don't forget about the greatest wrestling match ever.
The greatest wrestling match ever, period.
Oh,
But
God.
It's unforgettable, good and bad. It's good and bad, so yeah, unforgettable on the back end of it, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still pretty good.
Yes.
Got a lot of good, got a lot of bad. Up next, we have the AJ Lee Daniel Bryan wedding, where AJ Lee became your Raw general manager.
I just noticed that there's like 4 Daniel Bryan moments in a row.
After he tried to lock her up in a. Oh, well, we can kind of mix it up.
No, that's good. No, we're fine. We can keep going with it. We're fine. I just noticed it, and I randomized it like 7 times.
Well, it was like, no, we're doing this.
Yeah. The wedding, I'd say, is significant because it was peak for the AJ Lee character. What about you?
I can agree with that. It was moving her out of sort of one level and into the next, where we saw the birth of the Black Widow character out of this, where, you know, before she had been sort of like a side character, and this is where crazy AJ Lee comes from, is this whole thing right here. And this is where she evolved and adapted into the new character that really sent her up into that stratosphere and really helped herself stand out from everybody else. And helped to define the character. So I think for her, I would say this is significant. Like, I can give you significant on this. I don't think it's like memorable. I don't think it's unforgettable, but I think it is significant because of what it did for her.
Yeah, it let her grow as a character. It was the birth of growing everything she started doing.
And it helped Bryan because it sort of let Bryan be a heel and be evil and all the other things.
And turned into crazy, as we're about to talk about here in a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, this one makes me sad. Daniel Bryan turns on the Wyatt family. They adopted him. They loved him. And then he just used them and turned on them.
I always felt like they could have got a little bit more out of this.
Yeah.
Felt like there was another month or two they could have done and had the blow off at WrestleMania instead of at the Royal Rumble. But they had other plans for Bray and Bryan in those periods. But this was a cool moment. It was a really cool moment when it happened.
The whole story, the whole build was really, really good. And they were doing some really nice things because it's like Bryan was able to flex his acting skills and his character skills a little bit. Bray was being like top tier swamp Bray. Like, the whole thing was cooking and it was very good. It had legs, but they were ready to move Bryan on to other things and they needed him for other things. But it led to Bryan versus Bray, which was just a fucking fantastic match.
It was.
I'm going to say it's maybe low significant to high notable.
I can give you significant.
Just because of what it led to. Like, the moment itself is not like necessarily something that you think, you remember that time Daniel Bryan turned on Bray Wyatt? It's more it's what it led to, which was the match between the two.
Yeah.
And the story between the two that was sadly unfinished. Cry, tear. So yeah. And then Kane and Daniel Bryan hugging it out. Team Hell No.
This is the first part of Team Hell No. We have another bit of Team Hell No later on in our list. But this was the time they stood across the ring from each other, staring each other down for moments, for minutes. Do I? Do I do it? Do we do it? Do we hug it? And then they awkwardly hug.
With Dr. Shelby.
No, this was before Dr. Shelby.
This is before Dr. Shelby, but it's what's led to Dr. Shelby.
Which we'll get into later. Yeah. This, I think, this goes to notable.
Yeah.
This will be high-end notable. Because the Shelby stuff, it will be higher up. So this gives us a notable moment. And our last Daniel Bryan moment for now.
For the time being, the Yes Movement takes over Monday Night Raw.
The visual of this was so cool.
I'm gonna say this is at least memorable.
This is memorable, yeah.
Just because of everything that came out of this and everything that built to this.
Him rebelling against the authority, you just see this pile of fans just storm out of the crowd, all wearing the Yes shirts. Yeah, it was a really memorable moment on Raw.
This is how you tell an underdog story, right here.
That they weren't planning on telling, but they ended up having to tell.
Thanks, fans. We did it.
Yeah. Also, Punk quitting also played a part of that. But anyway, besides that's...
Yeah, Punk fucking off also helped.
That helped.
So I guess in that instance, we have to say thanks, Punk.
Thank you, Punk.
So moving on, the Demon debuts in NXT. I'm gonna say this is memorable, if not unforgettable.
I'd say I would say memorable. I can give you that.
Just because of everything that came out of this moment, but also the fact that the Demon was such a huge character for both Finn Balor and NXT, and it's special really to that era. Like, they were never able to fully, I feel like, translate the Demon onto the big stage.
Yeah.
Like, they tried, and I think they had some success with it, but ultimately the Demon had to go away when he went up on the main roster, and people have been clamoring for him to do it ever since.
And it became too easy to fall back to on the main roster.
Yeah. But for what this was in NXT, this was exceptionally special and really, really cool to see. Like, it worked so freaking well in the small format.
Yeah. So I'll give you more.
So you give me that?
Yeah.
And speaking of the format in NXT, the formation of the Undisputed Era.
Boom. This was cool. Adam Cole showing up, joining Roddy and Kyle.
Yeah.
It was a really cool moment. Unexpected. I'd say it's mid-significant, though.
I can give you that. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, for everything else that we have to talk about, yeah, it's there.
Yeah, it's like it's in the middle there. It's not memorable. It was memorable at the time, but overall, there's been better things. But it was the branching point for the run of Adam Cole, Bebe, in NXT.
Which was Let's Go.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, no.
Yes, it's wonderful. Yes,
the broken universe.
Wonderful. Yes.
The pain.
The final leash, Sean.
I will say this. I will give credit where credit is due, because I always have with this, even though it is not my most favorite thing in the world, and I really don't enjoy it or like it. I will give credit where credit is due. This is unforgettable.
Yes.
The impact that this has had on professional wrestling, what this did for professional wrestling from a production standpoint, from a match standpoint, from a character standpoint, is unforgettable. It is the greatest thing Matt Hardy has ever fucking done. And it is nothing short of genius.
Some will say it's delightful.
I won't go that far. But I will absolutely give credit.
Yeah, it was really cool. This was before the COVID era, and he would have shined completely in the broken. If he was in TNA with just being able to film stuff, it would have worked really well for him. It didn't work as much in AEW, but the Broken Universe in TNA, the Final Deletion, Total Non-Stop Deletion, all the whole epic chapter they did. We interviewed Broken Matt Hardy. Yes.
I have never, and I mean never, laughed so hard in an interview in my whole life than I did that interview. I had to be muted the entire fucking time because I was laughing too hard.
That's why it's unforgettable. Yes. So yeah, unforgettable.
Yeah, absolutely unforgettable. Like I can't take that away from him. I just can't. I'm sorry, y'all. I just can't. All right, moving on. Running away. Let's talk about it. War games.
War games.
See, he can get the bass. I can't get the bass.
I think the war games line is more memorable and unforgettable than bringing it back. I would say it's notable, high notable in the grand scheme of things. It's a touch of nostalgia, but I think it's notable overall.
Yeah, I can give you that.
I don't think it wasn't as game changing as I think people thought it was going to be, because it's been good, but it hasn't been the game changer. But it's cool. It's back. It's in their version.
It's unique.
Yes.
Up next, Sasha Banks makes Izzy cry
during the Iron Woman match in NXT. So weird. She's a wrestler now.
I know. Like, she's all grown up and she's like, I'm going to be a wrestler. I was like, oh my God.
God, the time has flown. It's a notable moment. It was a cool moment when it happened. It was a character defining moment in a way, but it's notable.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's notable.
Because it played to that audience and what the Full Sail audience was building and everything like that. So it was good. It was a notable moment in time.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. But it in terms of everything, it doesn't stand out as much. What does stand out, and what I would say is at least significant or memorable, just because it's a meme, is Mark Henry's retirement reversal with the salmon jacket.
I'd put it at the bottom and the memorable.
Yeah, this is me.
Everyone talks about it. It's a long lasting. They just did it with AJ. Then everyone compared it, even though it wasn't anything like it. But we still compared it to it because that's the only thing people remember, and they even called back to it on television. And you pulled a Mark Henry, so for that alone, it has to be there.
It has to be there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. There you go. Sting's debut to save Team WWE, the last bastion, the last pillar of WCW to make his way to WWE. Is it wrong? I'm going to be very honest. I don't remember this at all.
So he came out at Survivor. This was when he showed up at Survivor Series. He helped Dolph Ziggler. He dragged Ziggler's body over one of the members of the Team Authority. And they won, and then it was the big thing, and then it led to him showing up a few weeks later to help get people's jobs back. It was Rowan and Ziggler and Ryback helped them get their jobs back, and that pissed Triple H off, and it led to Triple H versus Sting at WrestleMania. That was the whole setup. For what it stood for at the time, it was memorable because it was Sting in WWE. Mm-hmm. But at the end, it's a footnote. It's notable. I'd put it at the top of the notable category, but that's where it should be when you boil it all down.
Yeah, I can give you that because, in truth, it doesn't even stand out in my mind. And I hate saying that, but it just, in terms of everything that we have to talk about, it just doesn't even stand out.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
What I came up with, it just doesn't even come close. What comes next? The Festival of Friendship. And you just made the list, but why is my name on the list?
Give him the gift.
And the gift, the epic gift, which I think I actually found a picture of it and I have it saved somewhere. Because nobody mocks up Michelangelo, the Sistine Chapel ceiling, God creating Adam or God creating man, whatever it's called, and with Kevin and Jericho's faces, and you don't steal that off the internet. Despite current sentiments about a specific someone. So
he's the learning tree.
Right, sure.
Yeah, he likes his TV time. I'd say memorable.
I'm going to say you're going to say memorable?
Yeah.
I was going to say significant.
I think it's memorable. It's up there with Mark Henry. It gets memed a bunch. It's up there. It's a low end of memorable. But I think for what it was, what it turned out to be, for that whole story, I think you tie it. It works where we place Mark Henry.
That's fair. I can give you that. I'm going to say this one is potentially unforgettable, just because of what it did, and that is the debut of The Fiend.
Let him in. Yeah, unforgettable. It was the character change. everything with the funhouse, the rock star entrance. It had
the
everything.
Character. God.
No, it just had everything.
It had the aura. It, in a lot of ways, became almost instantaneously iconic, and it just took off. It went viral, and it's something that The Fiend will be etched in the annals of WWE history for a very, very long time, because it was so unique, especially when it debuted, because he came out like either right at the COVID era or right before it.
Right before. He came, it was what, 2019?
Yeah. But like it, and that's where The Fiend really sort of hit his stride, was in that COVID era, where they could do the cinematics with him and just do all the TV magic, and it just worked. But the way that they did the character, with the way that they built the character, like it was just all top tier and so well done till the end. Which we don't talk about the end, but
I mean, we did. We made it notable when it burned.
Yeah. But that's not the very end of the thing.
I know.
But yeah, so absolutely iconic and unforgettable. Also, I would say throw it up there would be the Shield debut.
Yes. Yeah, I'll give you unforgettable for that. I was leaning maybe towards memorable, but I can go there.
It's like a low unforgettable, but high memorable because of what that group has given us for wrestling.
Yeah.
And what the group ultimately became, because that moment was just like, holy shit, and just how unique the Shield was to WWE, especially in its heyday. Yeah. And the fact that it's still talked about, like the fact that everybody freaked out when Seth did the Shield and Roman got the music and the gear and the divorce.
Well, yeah, and we'll have more with that later. That's why I was kind of leaning the other way, but yeah, no, it's low and unforgettable.
Bailey destroys the Bailey Buddies.
This launched her heel turn.
This is significant.
That's exactly where it belongs. Insignificant. It was the character change. She got rid of the ponytail. She got rid of the Bailey Buddies. She went heel. If anyone benefited from the COVID era, it was her.
Mm-hmm.
She had an amazing run. She was able to do a lot of different things with the character. She was able to act and grow and have hell of long great matches in that Thunderdome.
Agreed.
She also suffered because she got an injury right before they were coming out of the Thunderdome, and had to wait it out. But yeah, this was the launching point of the new Bailey, and we didn't think it would work, and it has. And I think it was a complete character change because she was the likable Bailey, and then everything just sort of changed for her. So yeah, significant.
She achieved what a lot of us, at least for me, didn't think she could do, which was take the character heel.
Yeah, you didn't think it, because we talked about it forever. We're like, no, she's the babyface for life because the little girls
the
character, but the character ran its course on the main roster. Because it had success too early, I think. I think the NXT run, she peaked with the character in the NXT run because she was not given as much focus on the main roster to be like, have another roller coaster ride as the babyface. She was already on the rise and sort of still like, you know how the roller coaster is still ticking up?
Mm-hmm.
When she came up, she was like on the flat point of the ride where it's like before you go back down to the drop. So she was like coasting with the character. The character never had one more rise on the main roster. It just coasted with it. You never got all the charm. So yeah, significant.
Agreed. I'm going to say this is at least memorable, if not unforgettable. The White Rabbit chase.
I say it's the top of memorable.
Just because of what this did for wrestling, like in terms of how to re-debut somebody.
Yeah.
Like AEW had tried it with Punk, but they weren't as successful, I feel, as WWE was with Bray and the entire White Rabbit chase and what this was, and the fact that you had people looking for QR codes, you had people, you know, looking stuff up and trying to like going into conspiracy theory hell and doing all these things. Like you challenged the fans with a puzzle to figure out, and it was an incredibly unique way to bring Bray back to the company, and it was really special how they did it. And the fact that like the freaking record store in Corbin, Kentucky was like, yeah, we ain't got nothing to do with this, but we're gonna ride this to see to its end, because why the fuck not?
Yeah,
like that was really cool how all that just sort of organically grew and happened, and it was just a really neat thing that people have tried to duplicate since. I don't think it's been as successful, but it still worked.
Yeah,
because it's like once you do it once.
Yeah, the Wyatt 6 didn't give it as much like, oh my god, we gotta figure out the mystery compared to Bray, but it worked. So yeah,
It worked.
It's top of memorable.
Yeah. Sasha and Bailey take over Brooklyn in NXT.
I said this is unforgettable.
I'll agree.
This was the change in women's wrestling in WWE. It was the match that kind of launched everything for women's wrestling again. We're going to talk about the Divas, Evolution, Revolution, whatever, in a bit, but this was the moment where it's like, because this came right after this was a few weeks after they all appeared on Raw, except for Bailey. This was the match, sold out, Brooklyn, NXT's biggest show at that point. It was an amazing match, talked about to this day, and it was a match that, like, here's the passing of the torch to Bailey to run NXT. Sasha went up to the main roster, and it was just like, the women can go. You give them the time, they can go. That's why it's unforgettable.
Agreed. And it set the tone for everything. I'm going to go ahead and say this is at least memorable, if not unforgettable, because none of us thought this would ever happen, and that is that Edge unretires.
I say it's memorable. I don't think it's unforgettable.
I mean, fair, but there is a significance to it, because this is something that a lot of us who watched Edge for a long time and watched him retire and watched him kind of struggle with that journey only to find his way back, that he healed his body enough that he was able to come back. There is something to that.
Yeah.
Like that was like when he hit that spear after however many years he had been gone, it was like, holy shit.
Like he hit one.
Here we go.
He hit one at SummerSlam and got people talking, and it's in our sheet today.
Yeah, it is.
It's his one last match. Because we were going to do a topic on it. We never got to it.
He beat us to it.
He's still having that one last match, even though he's an idiot jumping off a cage at 50 years old. But
it's fine.
A broken leg is fine. He'll recover. Yeah, memorable.
Okay, that's fair. Jason Jordan becomes Kurt Angle's son.
This was such a random moment in WWE.
It's notable.
It's 100% notable, but it was such a random moment. Yeah, we're gonna do the storyline, and hey, he's Kurt Angle's son. Like, oh, and then he goes to like heel, and then unfortunately Jason Jordan had to retire.
Yeah,
and the kind of story ran its course and couldn't really have the blow off that it wanted. So it's notable in that regard. But yeah, it was one of those things that happened in the last 10, 12 years. It's like, yeah, that happened. And then Raw 25, or Raw 30, whatever it was, they had the moment together, which was funny.
Which was great. It was absolutely great.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes finally finishes his story. This is the boyhood dream moment of this era right here.
Yeah.
This will be replayed for the annals of WWE. This is unforgettable. The build on this, the story told on this, everything.
It's at the low end of it, but yeah, it's unforgettable.
Because it was quite literally, if Cody doesn't win, we riot.
At that point, yeah.
Because we were all really ready for him to finish his story. It's like, you have to do it. You have to pull the trigger on it. You can't not at this point. Just do the thing.
Yeah.
And thankfully they did it.
And they did.
CM Punk returns to wrestling and debuts in AEW. I have to say it's unforgettable.
Yeah.
That we're not going to necessarily go into. But this was, again, another credit moment. This was a coup. This was huge because CM Punk had fucked off. He wanted nothing to do with professional wrestling. He wanted nothing to do with at least WWE. And he started doing heels with Stephen Amell. And that got the bug back in him. And then he started talking to Tony Khan. And he's like, hey, you want to work together?
Hold on.
And Tony Khan...
He was also on Fox's WWE Backstage.
Yep.
That was like the first
that
little,
too.
Hey, I'm dipping my toe back in, which they had some talks, but they never...
It never materialized.
No.
Because I don't think they could come to terms, but Punk...
Vince didn't want to do it. If Hunter was
fair.
Which is fair. If Hunter was in charge, he probably would have been back and the AEW thing would never happen. But yeah, it's an unforgettable moment because they told you what they told you was happening. Everyone knew what was happening. They built a big arena for it. It's like in Chicago randomly 2 weeks before a pay-per-view. Like that moment, him sitting in the ring, him talking, crowd was crazy, big buzz. It led to a boom for them for a little bit. Then he got injured, and a year later got injured, and like the first 6 months of the run in AEW with him, and then him and MJF was really, really, really good. Like it was really good storytelling and everything like that. So this is unforgettable. Him in the ring returning 7 years after the fact that he was done. Yeah,
this was big. This was huge. There we go. Women get their own Royal Rumble.
I think it's a memorable thing.
I would agree with that.
Because it's changed dynamics. It opened the doors for the women to do more things. That's basically it. It's opened the door. It's given them more opportunities, more equal footing. The Rumble is a constant now. Yeah, it's memorable. It was a memorable thing to, hey, the women can do this too. Instead of just, hey, randomly a China or a Beth Phoenix in the men's Rumble. It's like, no, they have their own now.
Yeah, and it was the first sign, or one of the many signs, that it's like the women are getting a more equitable treatment than what they have in the past, that they're being taken more seriously, that it's not just a one-off, that it's no, we are going to push our division, that the women's revolution had in fact worked, that the message had been received.
Yeah.
And that is not insignificant at all. Sami Zayn turns on the Bloodline.
This is memorable.
Agreed.
It's fantastic. It was well built. Everyone was waiting for it. Everyone knew it was going to happen. But the way they told it, the way they sold it, and then you got the big moment he broke away, and then he was left for dead a minute and a half later. But it helped. Everything he did with the Bloodline helped his career to where it is today. It's one of the best things he's ever done. So yeah, memorable.
Agreed. I can't say anything more than that. It's all those things and more, because it helped launch Sammy as well.
It did.
That was the thing.
It was the point of, hey, he's a player. He can do a lot of different things. He's good in the ring, and you can trust him to do anything you can ask for. That's where it led.
That's exactly where it led. He's got the whole world in his hand.
He's got the whole world in his hand. He's got the whole wide world in his hand.
All the kids singing the song, that's memorable. It's right there with the Yes Movement takeover. Like, it's not unforgettable, but it's right there with the Yes Movement.
It's one of those iconic shots of WWE, of the kids in the sheep masks and Bray singing, and they still, I think, use it today.
Yeah.
Where
it was awesome.
Where you had the build with Cena, and you were doing this just really fantastic build for Bray with Cena, which he should have won that match. Anyway, and I think even Cena said that Bray should have won. But just this moment of John Cena laying in the ring, or being in the ring and surrounded by this choir of children in sheep masks.
All them turning on him, because this was after the loss. This was like 3 weeks after, building to the second match, which Bray won. But this was all the fans turning on him, or all his kids turning on him, and they're all now with Bray Wyatt. Yeah, it was very memorable.
It was so good.
Yeah.
So good. Like, go boo boo go. So yeah, I keep losing it. Okay, here we go. Brock Lesnar. Oh God. Brock Lesnar ends Kofi Mania.
This goes down to notable, but Brock Lesnar's first TV match ever in the only one he's done in this run to win the title, Fox debut. It's notable.
It is notable, yeah.
But the end of Kofi Mania.
Sad. All right. Nia Jax bloodies Becky Lynch, and we get the birth of the man.
No, those are two different things. They're two different moments.
They're two different moments?
We have two different moments, because the birth of the man is the promo she cut after she turned on Charlotte. That's the birth of the man. The bloody thing, fair. The bloody nose. This came after. Bloody nose came after. The birth of the man was before that. In how it goes. So we can rank them both, because the birth of the man is coming up in a second. So we'll rank them both here. The bloody nose is, I think, memorable, and I think the birth promo goes at the low end of significant.
Yeah, I can give you those.
I think that's kind of how they shape up in the grand scheme of things. Because the promo was like she was going to go heel. She's the man. She's turning heel. But like the iconic image is the nose of coming out of it.
Yeah, like that's the moment that everything changed for Becky.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
Up next, we have Team Hell No meets Dr. Shelby.
That's memorable. High-end memorable. It's with the choir and stuff. It was some great television.
It was some fantastic television. Oh my God, it was so good. Because it took Kane and it took Brian in a direction that you just never expected them to ever go. Like, especially Brian. Like, I think it proved Brian could do comedy.
Yeah.
And we were all like, holy shit. Like, it was so good.
It was. Some great moments. We talked about them all on post shows forever. It was great.
CM Punk returns to WWE.
This one is not unforgivable or memorable. This goes insignificant.
Yeah. Because it was expected. It was very expected.
It was, but it wasn't. Because no one thought, he would actually come back. Like all the things lined up for him to come back, but he got fired. No. In that period, like he just returned to AEW. They built a show for him, and then he got fired. And everyone thought, oh yeah, he'll come back eventually, maybe. But the changing of the guard with Vince leaving kind of opened the door. Even though Vince was kind of worked his way back in after Punk came back, but
not for long.
Not for long, but yeah, it was significant.
I can give you that. Shane McMahon's shocking return to WWE.
This ends up being significant too, based on how we've ranked everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But him coming back after a few years. And like him come back to wrestle Undertaker that year, it was significant because it brought Shane back. And then Shane had a hell of a run on that return. Commissioner SmackDown, all the things, got to wrestle some good matches. But no one thought he would come back after the disagreement with his father and stuff, and he just got himself out of the company. But he came back. So I remember at the time, it was like, when it happened, I heard about it like 5 minutes before it was going to be happening. Like, I was post on Reddit, like, Shane McMahon's coming back tonight. It's like, no, he's not. And then he was there. I was like, holy shit, he actually showed up. All right, what's next?
Up next, we have Ciampa turns on Johnny at NXT TakeOver Chicago and breaks everyone's heart. One, this was really good. This was really, really well done. Super good. I don't think a lot of us were really suspecting it when it happened.
No.
To me, I maybe have to drop this in like either high significant or I don't think it's necessarily unforgettable. But it is a moment.
It's significant. It's a significant moment, yeah. That's for sure.
Just because of what it led to later on. But like the turn itself is not as memorable as some of the other stuff that's happened between them.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins cashes in Money in the Bank at WrestleMania and wins his very first world title.
Yeah.
To me, this is unforgettable because the shot of Seth at the end of WrestleMania is another one of those that will live on forever.
Yeah, it's right
like
there
just
Cody.
that, yeah, him holding up the title. He had just turned on the Shield, he joined the Authority, and he cashed in the Money in the Bank, and he became the corporate champion. And he took that goddamn ball, and he ran with it so fucking hard. And proved to everybody that he deserved to be there.
Yeah.
And he has never left that spot. So yeah, to me, it's unforgettable.
I agree.
For me personally, this is unforgettable because I am exceptionally biased.
Mm-hmm.
The Wyatt family debut on Monday Night Raw.
If the Shield's significant, this is significant as well. Or in that unforgettable category, it's right next to it. Because they were you had two groups that debuted, and in a year span, it was the Wyatts and the Shield, which led to fantastic matches between both sides. So just with that, it belongs with the Shield because they became mainstays. It was a hell of a debut. People have been anticipating it. Yeah, it's the Wyatt debut. Unforgettable.
We're not talking about the next one. It didn't happen.
Randy Orton joins the Wyatt family.
He didn't join the family. He's not part of the family. He betrayed them. He is like Brian. He is not part of the family.
It was acknowledged. It is a part. It's in canon. It's a thing. He was a part of the Wyatt family. He had a graphic that said so. He was on a T-shirt. He was in the Wyatt family.
No.
Yes. It goes down to notable, but he was in the he was part of it.
No.
Yeah.
I'll give you notable, but no.
It happened.
It did not happen.
It happened.
Look, if Brent can cling to hypothetical, I can cling to this.
Yeah, I'm gonna. He says it was in the family. Randy Wyatt. Yes.
No, don't you? You take that back.
That's what he said in chat. I'm just reading chat.
You take that back. I have mod powers. I can ban you.
Randall, Keith, Orton, Wyatt. Yep.
I hate it here. All right. A personal favorite moment for us. Bo Dallas gets removed from NXT.
It's notable. It's 100% notable, but it had to be mentioned because the dramatics of it was awesome.
Just the image of Bo being chased all around Full Sail in his tidy whities, and they finally catch him, and just the golf cart and the whole thing. Like it was the best way you could send him up to the main roster. They did him no favors afterwards, but just the moment was great.
Yeah,
and the fact that he has never come back to NXT ever.
Nope.
Not once.
Not one time. Everyone else has, except him.
Bo Dallas has never come back.
He's never come back. He may come and say howdy.
I don't think he's allowed.
I mean, he's allowed.
Well, yeah, he's allowed in like real life, but I think in like storyline, I think he's banned, and they've just held really firm to that.
Well, Uncle Howdy though.
Uncle Howdy
could be a different
story.
Yeah,
he can come back. Okay, this next one, this is unforgettable.
Yes.
Whether we want to acknowledge it or not is unforgettable. However you feel on it. The streak ends at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
The impossible happened. Nobody ever believed that they were going to break it. They changed their minds and they gave it to Brock Lesnar, even though Taker has since come out and said it should have gone to Bray, it should have gone to Roman, it should have gone to a lot of other people other than Brock. It went to Brock, and we got 21-1.
Yep.
And it's an unforgettable moment because we got a meme out of it. Several, actually.
Yep.
And Taker's awful hair.
That was a look.
It was a thing. I like how he did an interview and he came out and the worst mistake he's ever made was wearing those Python pants. And I'm like, thank you, Mark. I've been waiting for like 20 years for you to say that.
Sticking with the theme of The Undertaker.
The Shawn Hunter Taker saga,
which ended
the whole story,
which ended with the end of the era. Unforgettable.
Oh, completely unforgettable. Just the 3 to 4 year story that was told across multiple WrestleManias with these three. The matches that we got were just incredible, most of them. Because it started with 25.
The matches with them were great, and then they came back 10 years later, and they shouldn't have. But
we don't talk about that. That didn't happen. Nobody saw it.
It was in
the end of the era was it.
Yep, that was it. That's where everything ended. Yeah, it's unforgettable.
Absolutely unforgettable. The women's evolution takes over Monday Night Raw.
Team Bad, Team Paige, Team Bella. Them making the change. Divas taking over. Memorable.
It's memorable, yeah.
All right, next.
Indy and Dexter's wedding. At least for me, new bar for wrestling weddings. For a long time, it was Eric Young and ODB.
Yes.
But now it's this one.
Still notable.
Oh, it's completely notable. But it's such a good wrestling wedding, and it had been so long since we'd had one that like, yes, finally, because I love me a wrestling wedding. I don't know why, but I do. Seth Rollins turns on the Shield.
Unforgettable.
Agreed. The chair shot heard around the world.
I think it's top of unforgettable, too.
Yeah, just because of what this started, what this was. Yeah. This was incredibly significant in terms of storylines. That has carried through all the way to this year, where you have the relationship between Seth and Roman. Like, the fact that Roman chose revenge over winning his title tells you everything you need to know.
Indeed.
Of what this was. This is a personal favorite because I was there for it. Sheamus cashes in on Roman Reigns at Survivor Series. I have never laughed so goddamn hard in my whole life than this. Just because and it's not to do with anybody in the ring. It's just everybody was so unbelievably pissed at this. It was great. It's notable,
but yeah.
But it was great.
Okay.
The popcorn fart heard round the world. The exploding barbed wire death match in AEW.
You are the expert, so I'll let you handle this one.
I'm not the fucking expert.
I wasn't even going to put this one on the list, but you said it should be.
We have to put it on the list. How can we not? I would say it's notable.
Yeah.
But it was a huge embarrassment for AEW because they had built up this match. Everybody was super excited about it. Like, it was the point that it's like, hey, I kind of want to watch this just because I've never seen one before, especially one done in the US.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they're necessarily allowed here. So The fact that they were actually going to do one was like, oh, I kind of want to see it. And then like, if you don't know what happened, the boom did not boom.
It fizzled.
So it was kind of disappointing. But yeah, this was kind of one of those moments where they had like a huge build to it and everybody was super excited for it. And it's like, okay, all right, let's check this out. And then it just didn't go. So there you are. And they still went ahead with certain things, even though it didn't go.
Didn't happen. I like how this randomly went to the last spot.
It's appropriate.
It is.
The final boss. The return of The Rock to WWE for him to wrestle at least one more time. And the new creation of the final boss character for him, which he has just run with and has been having so much fun with. To me, this is memorable.
Yeah.
High memorable, though. I don't think it's unforgettable because I think in terms of his career, there are a lot more significant moments and there could be more to come with it because I think there is. But in terms of what this character has done for reinvigorating for him, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. It worked. So here you go. There's our list.
There's our tier list. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let us know in the comments because I think you're going to put it out on Twitter, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And where can they follow us on Twitter?
They can follow us. We're done. Did we make it? We made it all the way through. We survived for 12 years. More to come. You can tweet it. We'll be on Twitter at Wild Talk Radio, at Rack Radio Show. Put it out tomorrow, probably, or over the weekend, something like that. Anyway, we'll do it for 12 years of the Rack. Live right here on the Wild Talk Radio Network. Tomorrow night, it's GM Battles, 10 p.m. Eastern. Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, it's WTR Game Night, followed by CB Radio Live at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll have the Excalibur Challenge. There will be no recap of Forbidden Door, but we will do the Excalibur Challenge for Forbidden Door this Saturday on CB Radio Live. Sunday night, it's the WTR Fantasy Draft during Wrestle Talk Radio at 10 p.m. Eastern. We'll go about a half hour, do the draft, and let you go back to watching the craziness of 15,000 matches at Forbidden Door. Monday night's Raw Post Show, 11 p.m. Eastern. We'll be back. Programming note. Forgot about this one. Programming note. We'll be live next Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Because next Thursday is July 4th. So we'll be doing our Money in the Bank preview this Wednesday live at 10 p.m. Eastern after Dynamite. So tune in for that after you watch your Dynamites. Come listen to us talk about Money in the Bank at 10 p.m. Eastern. It's at Wild Talk. Yes, a Wednesday. We're doing a Wednesday show. Because there's fireworks and stuff on the 4th of July holiday. So, yeah. It's at Wild Talk Radio. Facebook.com/Wild Talk Radio Network. It's Rack Radio Show on all social media platforms. Wherever you get your podcasts, to search the Rack Radio Show. Chat, if you have Amazon Prime, link to Twitch accounts called Prime Gaming Support Channel by clicking the purple rectangular button below the screen. You can use credit card RocketSock or
Lindsey Ward.
When you buy the K30 Metallica Pirates of the Caribbean coming. Whole battle pass and all the things. Join Reload It. Watch it, play that game mode. It's fun. And all the things. You just use the codes because we are
#Epic Partners. You can follow me on most of the social medias at LindsWard, LNSWD. You can check me out on Twitch, twitch.tv/LindsWard. You can follow me over youtube.com/@LindsWard. And you can follow me on TikTok, LindsWard0. And with that, that concludes our 12-year show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in with us, whether you're new, whether you've been here the whole time. We appreciate you. So thank you from the bottom of both of our hearts. We are incredibly grateful to everybody who listens. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So for Rock, I'm Lindsey Ward. You've been listening to The Rack right here on WildTalkRadio.com, and we will see you next week. Bye.